Good evening, everybody. Today we will be doing Lifespan Block 3, Unit 4, that is Challenges and Issues in Adolescent Development. So, in the last three units, we have just seen that what adolescents mean, what being an adolescent is. So, today we will be learning the challenges these adolescents face during the development period. Human life completes its journey through various stages, and one of the most vital stages is adolescence. Adolescence is a period of transition from childhood to adulthood and plays a decisive role in the formation of pro-social that or antisocial adult. All of us undergo this stage which poses many challenges and is full of excitement. At the same time, it demands adjustment on many fronts. So you have lot of challenges in front of you. Sometimes it is full of excitement, sometimes it is the opposite, and there are a lot of times when you have to adjust because that is a new beginning for both adolescents and their parents. Adolescence is a time of both excitement as well as anxiety, happiness and troubles, discovery and bewilderment, breaks with past and links with future. Adolescence can be a confusing time for the adolescent and both the parents as well. So we have already learned, when you are in your adolescence, so you are going through a lot of changes, both physically, mentally, psychologically. So the child is not able to understand what is happening to him because it is a sudden change. So he needs to accept, he needs to adjust to that, he needs to adapt the change. And even the parents are confused because they are scared because this is one of the most critical or sensitive period of their life. So let us learn the challenges of adolescence now. Adolescence is one of the most dynamic and full of challenges stage of human development. It is a transition between childhood and adult life. So it is a mid period, between childhood and adult life. In other words, it is the time when child learn how to be an adult. So the child is learning. So he just learning how to be an adult, how to behave like him. This learning process will involve new situations accompanied by dramatic physical, cognitive, social, emotional changes that present both opportunities as well as challenges for adolescents, their families, health professionals, educators, and communities as well, that is, the society. It is important to make adjustments to changes in the self, in yourself when you're an adolescent, in the family and in the peer group. So when you reach adolescence period, so you need to make some changes and adjustment within yourself, and there has to be change in the family as well. The family needs to support you and you also need to understand them, and the peer group. So it is basically a period of challenges and adjustments. Adolescence begins with the first well defined maturation event called puberty. So that's when the adolescence period starts. Technically, biological changes are the changes that occur due to the release of the sexual hormones that affect emotions. So, your emotions, whatever you're going through, it is basically due to the hormones. Mood changes can increase, which can impact on relationships both at home with parents, siblings, and socially or at school. So, whatever the child is going through, instead of just forcing, as a parent, instead of forcing on themselves your ideas, one needs to understand that why it is happening, why he's responding. Of course there is a stimulus, right? Chemical changes that is happening inside his body, mind, and everything. So the parents, because they have experienced this age, they should understand. Adolescence is also a time of social change. The way in which they interact with others changes as they mature. So as a child you behave differently with, in the society, with your friends, with your relatives. But when you're growing up, that is during your adolescence, you need to bring some certain changes which is required. They start to make decisions for themselves at this period, right? Otherwise, before reaching adolescence, they're completely dependent on their parents and plan for the future as well. So they start imagining, they start making plans. Okay, okay, during so in my college I'm going to take this, I want to become a doctor, I want to do this. So they also imagine their future as well. There are times when adolescents feel like and want to be treated as an adult. So if you just, as a parent, if you tell the adolescent child that, oh, you're just a child, actually the child will not like it. I mean, he thinks that he is, you know, an adult like you, so he don't want to be treated like a child again. At other times they feel like the child and want the security that family gives. So sometimes he wants to be an adult, you know, and sometimes he want to be treated like a child. Again, it is a confusing period. Conflict with parents can also occur when they want to do things independently, of course. So whenever your child is going against you, which you feel it is against, but every child goes through this phase. So when they take a decision of your own, parents might not like it, because all these years it was parents who were taking decision for the kids. And all of a sudden, if the child takes decision or some independent decision, the parents, there is a conflict between the parent and the adolescent child. Parents worry because they know that young people sometimes take risk when they're out with friends, which is again true. Because you know, they say that sangat ka asar, right? So again, it depends what kind of a friend circle do you have. What you don't know, right? You know your child, but you don't know who your child is, you know, friends with. And until and unless you spend time with people, you actually don't get to know. During adolescence, a new person is emerging. New rules will change. Maybe more responsibilities will be placed on him or her, so that a certain standard of behavior is now required to be maintained. So we expect that now he needs to behave like this. So there should be a standard, you know, he cannot, we can't. And we also, you often hear your parents telling, you know, when you are an adolescent, or if you have an adolescent child, you ask, you know, you just tell them to behave yourself, behave your age. And accountability is
Ritu,
also
am I
becoming.
there at the right page?
Don't worry about that
Ah,
as far as something is visible. Accountability is also becoming an expectation from both parental and legal concepts. So whatever the child is doing, the parents always ask about the accountability, right? So you need to be accountable, you need to be responsible. Suppose you're going out, it is very important that you inform your parents, right? Because they're concerned about your safety. Whereas the child at that age feels, no, no, I want to hide and do things from my parents, because that is how it is in that age. As adolescents continue their journey of self discovery, so they're discovering themselves, you know, they continually have to adjust to new experiences as well as the other changes happening to them. This can be both stressful and anxiety provoking. So all the changes that is happening inside him, that is very stressful, that also, you know, sometimes puts him into depression, and he becomes very anxious. And therefore, it is not surprising that adolescents can be a decreased tolerance for change. Hence, it becomes increasingly more difficult for them to modulate their behaviors, which are sometimes displayed by inappropriate mood swings and angry outbursts. So, because of all these things, it becomes very difficult for them to change their behavior. Dealing with changes that have not previously experienced, of course. So first time he is being an adolescent, right? He is entering that stage, the first time puberty, so he has no experience, he doesn't know how to deal with it. And it is also part and parcel of adolescent's life, which he is not aware because he is not experienced. And learning how to respond, to make good decisions, and knowing where to find support will help to cope with the challenges ahead in a positive way is very important. During adolescence, parents should play a highly supportive role. They have all the necessary experience. Who? Parents. And they should be supportive because they have gone through that stage. So now it is their time to make their child's adolescence life more beautiful and happening, rather than, you know, they're having conflicts and the generation gap talks and all. So they have all the necessary experience, resources, and maturity to make this transition as easy as possible, because the child is in the adolescence time, the period, not the parents. So parents are already mature enough, they are not going through that stage, so they need to understand, at least at that age, assistance from healthcare professionals, be it counselors, can also be helpful to enable young people to cope and move forward confidently toward adulthood. So sometimes, if the child is not listening to the parent, you can also take the help of an outsider, that is a professional counselor, so that it becomes easy for you also to learn how to deal with your child, even if you don't know. Because even if the, why there is an issue when we see why parents and the kids have an issue, adolescents kid have an issue, though the parents have gone through that age, because we forget our time basically. So we need to unlearn and relearn things. So both of them need counseling. That is what I feel. So youngsters with autism bring their special flavor to the adolescence. Now we will also talk about adolescence in.
Ritu, can I interrupt you for just a minute?
Sure.
What I wanted to say is the reason why the parents forget their own teenage time or adolescent time is because of the fear that they have for their kids and the protectiveness that they show towards their kids. The love for them makes them very protective and forget their age, their time in the adolescence. That makes it difficult for them, and half of it is basically embarrassment. Okay, that is not because of the child, it is because of the topics that they need to discuss with the child as well, because of which they cannot connect with them at that point of time, right? They're more concerned as a parent and not as a friend, because a friend is almost at the same age, they can understand them better. But the parent, again, as you said, has forgotten their time during their teenagers, and their emotions are overwhelming them to not think rationally at that point of time and give them the support that the teenager needs.
Right, Vasudha. That's why I said that, both of them needs counseling. It's not
Exactly,
just the
exactly.
child, because the parent also need to come to the reality, right? Now there is a
Mm.
thing that your child is going through this, just like any other disease, if anybody, any family member has, be it mental or physical, we go to the doctor and entire family is aware of that. So the family is supporting the patient, right? Similarly, so both the parents also, should be able to accept and help the child rather than making it difficult for the child. Yes. So now we will also see youngsters with autism that bring their special flavor to the adolescents. So we'll learn about an adolescent who is, an autistic child, essentially determined by the levels of three ingredients, that is interest, avoidance, and insight. So first is level of interest. What is level of interest? Since all forms of autism has an impact on social development by definition, most adolescents with moderate to severe autism will show little or no interest in others. They may seem to be totally unaware of their peers' presence, or they may appear indifferent when peers try to interact with them. As autism gets severe, the level of interest in peers usually increases. So, what happens sometimes a child who is an autistic child, now we are discussing only about autistic children, okay? So, sometimes they are not interested if your other peers, they are trying to talk to you or something, you just don't bother. So, this is level of interest. You may be interested, you may not be interested at all. For these youngsters, the quality of social interactions mostly depends on the levels of avoidance and insight. You need to understand yourself also. The next is level of avoidance. In the social development of adolescents who show some interest in peer interactions, social anxiety and resultant avoidance play an important role. So, some children, when they are in this social gathering, they become anxious. When they're with their parents or just a couple of people, their own siblings, they're fine. But when they go into the gathering, they become anxious, which results in avoidance here again. So you try to avoid the crowd. Some youngsters get very nervous just with the thought of approaching others and may choose to avoid it at all cost. So, just like introverts, if you can compare a little here, but the situations are again different. So they just don't want, even the thought of, taking help from others or approaching others, again, being social, they get really nervous. Their avoidance may appear as if they are not interested in others, which is not true, but that's how they appear to others. It is important to differentiate this, since anxiety can be treated much more easily than genuine lack of interest. So, again, there is a treatment available. Level of insight. Now, what is level of insight here? Some adolescents with autism will not avoid interacting with others. Rather, they are eager to communicate, though often in a clumsy, in your face way. So we saw in avoidance, they try to avoid, right, in a social setting. But in level of insight, it is not the case. In fact, they are like social animal, just like extroverts. They love to interact. When they see the crowd, they get so excited. When they see new people, they just want to, interact, talk to them and tell how they're feeling. They try to interact their emotions to them. The level of their insight into their social disability will then become the determining factor of their social success. If they are unaware of their shortcomings comings in gauging the social atmosphere and reading social cues, they may inadvertently come across as rude, insulting, or boring. So, if the case is otherwise, then what do people assume? That, okay, they are very rude if they try to avoid, right? If the adolescent's child is trying to avoid, then what do you normally do? You'll be like, okay, that person is very rude or insulting, boring, he doesn't want to talk, he's avoiding us. And they may miss subtle criticism, sarcasm, or tease. As they develop better insight, they become more motivated to learn, which had not come naturally and intuitively. So, level of insight is very important for any adolescent's child, especially child with autism, because at least your situation gets better. You become more confident how to deal with, in a social setting, which helps you succeed in life. Next, coping with the loss of normalcy. How is the child? How is the child coping with the loss of normalcy here? Children with autism start realizing that they're not quite like others at some point during their adolescence. So initially, the child might not know that he is different from others, but during this adolescence period, he just uh, start realizing that he is different from others. Everybody is behaving different, but he is different. Once the adolescent realizes that he has a significant difficulty in conducting social relationship compared to his peers, he needs to deal with this loss. It is a loss, right? Just like dealing with another loss. So when the child gets to know that yes, he has a difficulty interacting with people or other friends or peers, now he has to come to the par with it. He needs to deal with that loss. In order to help them to deal this kind of situation, first it is important to understand the thoughts, feelings, and behavior of an adolescent with autism. See, when any normal child, if you take it, any adolescents, there is a lot of confusion, right? Their own parents can't deal with them. It becomes so difficult for the child as well as parents. And you can imagine the situation of a child who is, who is an autistic child. So you need to understand their thought processes, their feelings and behaviors, and that's how you can help the child. And there are stages of coping process to deal with loss of normalcy. What are they? They are denial, anger, depression, acceptance, and adaptation. Let us just have a look quickly. What is denial? Denial is one form of getting over the problem. So you're just denying, you're not even accepting that you have a problem. So it is important for the parents to help the youngster not to deny, but to face the problem and handle it squarely. So whenever there is a problem in life, what do you do with that? Instead of just avoiding the problem or running away with the problem, you choose like that's not the solution, right? So this is the case. The first thing is the parents itself are denying. They don't accept that the child has this issue. So how is the parents going to help the child then? So first parents need to accept that, and they need to be very positive about it. Now there is a problem, they need to solve it. So they have to, help the child in dealing with it. So again, it is the attitude that matters a lot. So if a parent have a positive attitude, no, the child also will learn that. The child, it'll become very difficult for the child to accept that situation. Next is anger. Parents needs to help the youngster to talk about their anger and frustration by giving a good listening and show patience to the youngster when he or she brings about a problem. So whenever the child is telling about any problem to the parents, parents need to first have an ear to listen with patience, which you need a lot as a parent, and then talk about it. talk about their anger, because in that age it is very normal, and for these kids it is again normal. So you should let your child talk. Even if the child is angry, not a problem. Let them at least vent it out. Parent, Parents should stay on the problem without changing the topic unless the youngster changes the topic. Just like denial. So there is a problem, right? Instead of just running away from it, that is not the solution. So you have to deal with, right? Depression. It is very important for the parents to look for the common symptoms of clinical depression. And this is like, now it is like a trend. It's like everybody says that he was in depression, she was in depression. Like it's become like, I don't know, some kind of a trend. If parents find the youngster depressed, they could consult a psychiatrist and get the needed medication to overcome it. And let us just have a quick look at the symptoms to look for the given, you know, uh, depression. So, how do you identify if the child is depressed? So, the child is almost appearing sad almost all the time, and he becomes irritable and angry in regard to flimsy issues. And he is not being able to fall asleep, waking up in the middle of the night and having difficulty falling back to sleep, right? Certain things you can relate with yourself. It is depression, doesn't matter what age. Complaining that he's tired all the time and wanting to take naps during the day. So if a person sleeps for longer time, very long time, no, he is always tired. He's actually into depression. He is not aware of it. Again, you should not just see one sign. So there could be a multiple signs. And the child eats less or more than usual, putting himself down, always thinks he is not worthy, you know, says he is stupid, making remarks like they hate their life, they hate the counselor, parents, friends, they hate everybody in the world, and nobody loves him. You don't love him. They tell their parents that no, you don't love me, and my friends don't love me. Even nobody loves me. I hate myself, and I wish to die, and all that. Losing interest in activity he usually enjoys. So there are certain activities he usually enjoys, but he starts losing interest in them also. Withdrawing self from the rest of the family. So he goes to isolation. He doesn't want to talk to anybody. He wants to be invisible now. Refusing to participate in group activities, which we actually did every adolescence. Yeah. So any social gathering, no, we would avoid at this age. Blaming self unfairly for anything that goes wrong. So it is like if anything goes wrong, you're blaming yourself. Okay, this is totally my fault. Most adolescents with autism excel in one or two subjects. So they're good at one or two subjects. They tend to accumulate a lot of information on the subject and love to talk about it over and over. So these were the symptoms of depression. Next is acceptance. The parent should try finding out new ways to engage the youngster in the subject. If the youngster finds that parents are interested, that will make the youngster feel better about self, right? That's how it is. Realizing that the youngster's mastery on the subject will boost his self esteem. Again, every child needs their parents' support. So if the parent is also taking as much as interest the child takes in certain areas, be it any subject or anything, the child is so happy and he performs really well because he's motivated that, okay, his parents are supporting him. Next is adaptation. Many adolescents with autism resolve their sense of loss by turning the issue upside down. Rather than clinging to depression and despair, they find their identity in autism. So they think, okay, this is the life now. They get in touch with other youths with autism. They take on themselves educating their peers about autism at school. They can also gather support for a better understanding and treatment of autism. Most commonly, the adolescent will not go through these stages one after another. It is not a hierarchy. It happens simultaneously. At a time, you might have all the issues, or again, it depends, but rather display a larger or smaller aspect of each at any given time, any time. And also, this is a very painful process for not only the adolescents, but also the people who care for him. That is, it could be, you know, um, parents, close relatives, siblings, or anybody. Next is acknowledging sexuality. in contrast with the rather slow social development and maturation. So social development is quite slow, and maturation, adolescents with autism develop physiologically and sexually at the same pace of their peers. So when you compare a normal adolescent with an autistic adolescent, what happens? So there is a different when it comes to social setting. An autistic child, the development happens slow, right? And maturation is also slow. Whereas the other child's, it is a little bit faster when comparatively. But the physiological things and the sexuality is at the same pace for both the children. As their sons and daughters with autism grow older and display sexualized behavior, many parents find themselves worrying that the child's behavior will be misunderstood because they know that their child has an issue, right? They know that the child is an autistic child, but people might misunderstand their gestures, postures, and also take advantages. Let's see how. The child will be taken advantage of, their daughter will get pregnant, or their son will impregnate someone else's daughter because they can't think. The child will not have the opportunity of enjoying a sexual relationship, or the child will contract sexually transmitted diseases also. While some parents get concerned that their children show no interest in sexual matters, others have to deal with behaviors like, some kids have no interest in sexual matters and some has other issues. Let's see what. Some kids, they touch their private parts in public, their own private parts. Stripping in public, masturbating in public, touching others inappropriately, staring at others inappropriately. So once they start staring, they just keep staring and talking about inappropriate subjects because they're not realizing it, what they're talking. Talking about sex, especially the sexuality of the adolescent, make the parents feel very uncomfortable. They may feel uneasy about sex education. So parents hope the issue just gets resolved by itself. That is a very bad thing, right? Because they need to uh, accept and they need to help the child, and also they can take the help of a professional. At least somebody else take the responsibility of resolving it. That's what the parents think. The main issue is for the parents to make up their mind regarding addressing the sexual issue rather than avoid it, which is very, very important. It is important for parents to ask direct questions about what the youngster knows about sex. Because when you ask questions, the doubts are clarified. You don't have a wrong notion about things, his desires, or his worries. After inquiring and talking about the normal behavior, the parent should set realistic but firm limits about inappropriate behavior. Seeing parents' level of comfort around the issue, the youngster will get the message that it is okay to have sexual feelings and it is okay to also talk about your feelings. Finally, parents may inquire about professional help which should provide an individualized sexuality assessment, sex education based on individual needs because every individual need is different. Utilize behavioral modification techniques to discourage inappropriate sexual behavior and promote appropriate sexual behavior. So we also saw that how these children they behave in the public. So they have inappropriate behavior. They stare at at wrong places inappropriately, right? So how to not do it, right? Even if you're so like you can take the help of the professional and teach your child not to behave that, to discourage such habits or behaviors. Then the next is change in the point of views. Now, what is change in the point of views? In this period, adolescents manifest clear sexual identity and are concerned with serious relationships. So they want to get into a serious relationship. They're able to love others tenderly and have a capacity for sensual love. Self-esteem and personal dignity become important to them now at this age. They want that they should be respected and treated as adults. They can even offer useful insight on many things and get goals for themselves and follow them through. So they set goals and they also follow that. They are capable of it. By this time, teenagers learn self-regulation and accept social institutions and cultural traditions more easily. They can be mental and emotional problems involved, but most of them are treatable with the help of an expert professional. So any problem arises, your parents as well as you can take the help of the professional. Next is high risk behaviors. What is it? Late adolescence represents a unique period of transition between youth and adulthood. These youngsters are usually considered to be a healthy group, but may also develop many chronic medical problems around this time. Also, this is the age when they develop high risk behaviors. They experiment with drugs, alcohol, smoking, adventurous sport, and many more. Many of these behaviors are a challenge to the existing norms and systems. They tend to defy the norms and take risk. Through such behaviors, they try to convince themselves and their peers and parents that they are grown up now. They don't need to listen, they don't need your advice. During adolescence, children develop the ability to comprehend abstract concepts that we have learned in previous classes, that they are able to understand and comprehend abstract concepts such as higher mathematical concepts and develop moral philosophies including rights and their privileges. So they understand what their rights are. Establish and maintain satisfying personal relationships also by learning to share intimacy without inhibition or dread. And they also move gradually towards a more mature sense of identity and purpose. Question old values without a sense of dread or loss of identity. So they question everything around them, all the values, everything. So let us sum up quickly. Adolescence can be described as a phase of life beginning in biology and ending in society, and it can be defined as a period within the lifespan when most of a person's biological, cognitive, psychological, and social characteristics are changing from what is typically considered childlike to what is considered adult like. For the adolescents, this period is dramatic challenge, lot of drama happening in this time, one requiring adjustment to changes in the self, in the family, and in the peer group. For both youngsters and their parents, adolescence is a time of excitement and of anxiety, happiness and trouble, discovery and bewilderment, and breaks with the past and link with the future. Adolescence can be a very confusing time for the adolescent experiencing this phase of life, for the parents who are nurturing the adolescent during his or her progression through this period, and for other adults charged with enhancing the development of youth during this period. The hopes, challenges, fears, and successes of adolescence have been romanticized or dramatized in novels, short stories, and new articles as well. Adolescents yearn to develop a unique and identity, their independent identity, right? They don't want to be just be somebody's kids. They want to have their own identity. They want to make their own decisions and separate from their parents. They do love their parents, but they don't simply want to follow their footsteps. They challenge their parents in any way possible and every way possible. They disobey their rules. It's like the parents ask you to, sit, they will stand. They'll be like, okay, I will stand. And next what? They obey their rules, criticize their old fashioned values, they discard their suggestions. So any suggestion from parents, they'll not take it. Any suggestion from peers, without even a thought, they're going to obey it as if it was a god's sermon or something. During adolescence, parents should play a highly supportive role because the adolescence is going through this change, right? The parents are mature, so now they need to support as they have all the necessary experience, resources, and maturity to make this transition as easy as possible. They also try to challenge the parents' authority in every possible way and also pay no attention or no heed to suggestions given by their parents. Youngsters with autism also bring their special flavor in the adolescence, essentially determined by the levels of three ingredients we learned interest, right? Again, it depends on the interest of the child whether he wants to talk to you or not. Again, avoidance and insight. Regardless of the individual development route, most children with autism start realizing that they are not quite like others at some point of time during their adolescence. So, before reaching adolescence, they may or may not be aware, but eventually they just realize, that okay, they are different from others, and how they need to cope, with that reality, with that normalcy. Once the adolescent realizes he has a significant difficulties in conducting social relationships compared to his peers, he needs to deal with this loss just like dealing with any other loss. Understanding the thoughts, feelings, and behavior of an adolescent with autism is the necessary step in helping him out and being there for him. That is what a child needs. Just need to help and just be there with him. In this period, adolescents manifest clear sexual identity and are concerned with serious relationships. Now they have love interest. They are able to love others tenderly and have a capacity for sensual love. Self esteem and personal dignity become very important to them. They want that they should be respected and treated as adults. They can even offer useful insight on many things and can set goals for themselves and follow them through. So they have all the capability to set a goal for themselves, to work towards and achieve that goal. By this time, teenagers learn self regulation and accept social institutions and cultures, traditions more easily. There can be mental and emotional problems involved, but most of them are treatable with the help of an expert professional. That's it. Vasudha, could you stop recording?